Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, Perf? Kid Copious, back in the bunker. Purple State Party. Representing them right down the middle. Take the good, take the bad. There you go. Purple. Yeah. Back with a bang. Look at that. All over my lights. So, first and foremost, I guess we're just going to jump right into it here. One of the big stories that's still kind of ongoing. You know, the press is trying to keep people interested the best they can. You know, well, let's just say they lost this guy. They lost me a long time ago. Long before we had a term like the fake media, fake news, mainstream media. I knew they were just playing games. Yeah, sorry, had something on my glasses. But anyhow, they want to keep these stories going, and I, for one, love it. Newsom's night of partying should be a wake-up call for every American. And why is that? What is the wake-up call? Well, the way I see it is we're looking at like the French Revolution at this point, where we have people who are exhibiting ultimate power, and then they're doing whatever they want. And, you know, what makes it really gross is that it wasn't something like a family event or a wedding, something that we could understand. No, it was dinner at an exclusive restaurant with lobbyists. People who make their money lobbying. Those are the same people that end up making the world much more expensive and harder for the rest of us. Lobbyists, that's political gross word right there. You know, especially here in California, we see it a lot. Can't manage our forests because of this lobby or that lobby. Don't have enough power because of this lobby or that lobby. I mean, we don't even have nuclear power here. We don't even use it's just ridiculous. You know, and now we're being led by this jackhole who's as schwarmy as any politician has ever looked. You know, some little spoiled kid who the political parties say, oh, he looks the part, so let's put him in there. And they put him in there, and he's just as arbitrary as hell with his decisions. He's a freaking idiot. You know, thank God other people are making decisions for him. But, you know, if the ruling elite is going to pass these kind of rules and then flaunt them, you know, we're all in trouble. You know, we're all in trouble because of stuff like that. You know, because I hate it when my computer breaks down like this. There we go. So, you know, it looks like we know how the election is going to go. I don't know. If there's some sort of bombshell, God, I hope there is. I pray there is. You know, I don't want to face this Harris Biden shit any more than a lot of people do, you know. But, you know, this looks like it's parroting the Babylon Bee. Huh. You know that Joe Biden and I will wake up every single day thinking about you and your families and how we can fuck them out of money and how we can fuck them over and how we can make their lives harder while making the lives of other people easier. And that's what Democrats do. That's what they do. They spend all of this time on trying to lessen the prison population. They don't build more prisons. They figure out ways to let people out. They pass gun laws that only affect law-abiding citizens. They put more emphasis on drug addicts and homeless people and vagrants and people who aren't even supposed to be in this country. They're whining and complaining about kids in cages at the border. We didn't bring them. We didn't bring kids to the border. And you're going to put kids in with the adults? You can't do that. Don't even know if the kids belong to the people they're with. I mean, that kind of stuff's got to get sorted. You know, that's what you worry about. You don't worry about the people moving out of San Francisco because store shelves are being cleaned out by shoplifters or wives and daughters are being chased by homeless people and aggressive panhandlers and their shit on the sidewalk. No, you don't care about that. You want to let them go. Those are the families they're thinking of. The families of people who will vote for them. The rest of us can just fuck off. You know? and half of your party too. Half of the people who voted for this fucking creepy Joe and the token, half of those people are going to be affected by it too. You know, you got what you wanted. You didn't like Trump, so you all got together and you got rid of him. Fine, whatever. But look what you chose. Look what you chose. You chose the feel-good answer. Oh, look, we see a reflection of culture when we look at the screen now. She's a horrible person that nobody voted for when she tried to run for president. She's a politician for sale. Everybody knows that. Biden's the same way. That's who you put in. You put in people who are not going to put America first. They're not going to put the middle class first. They're not going to put law-abiding working class people first. No. They're going to put the dregs. And that's what works for them. As long as they get the votes. As long as they get the soft-hearted idiots who don't realize how the world really works. And the people that they fear into voting for them. So what families is she thinking of? Who is Gavin really trying to protect? The funny thing is, you put these two together and you realize, oh, now, if this whole thing holds true, we're going to put the token in as vice president. And that's all. We're all going to feel so good about that. Until she starts running her mouth, treats us like fucking little babies. And she'll probably piss everybody off. And there's at least a double-digit chance that she could become president. And we already know what that means. You know, we've heard what she wants to do about gun control and the environment and other things. What about the rest of us? What about the rest of us who are watching our cities and even now our suburbs get turned into camp lots? What about those people? And now she's going off. She's going to be vice president. Went off on a tangent there. So Newsom has to appoint a new senator. And of course, BLM says it has to be a black. And the Hispanic community says it has to be a Hispanic woman. And you're arguing like for like and all of this crap. But it is actually an outside chance that goofball can appoint himself. He can. You can appoint anybody. It's happened in history. I'll try to have a little thing right here. I forgot to get some sort of news clipping about some of the people who have done it in the past. But him and Garcetti are basically trying to flee California at this point. And, I think the mayor up there in San Francisco is probably going to fight on. But a lot of these people, I know Bass, who represents, kind of a bit of a dicey community. She would love to get out of LA, get to Washington, get away from the problems that they've created. Because California's just turning into a shithole. I mean, plain and simple. I mean, there are still parts that I'm sure are beautiful and nice. It's not where I am. Everything is freaking expensive. Everything is falling apart. And you really can't go anywhere anymore without running into homeless. It's everywhere. I mean, it is everywhere at this point. But they want to get out. And that's the kind of greaseball politics that Gavin subscribes to. So, keep watching. It's going to get interesting. But again, it's going to be somebody lobbying. It's not going to be the best candidate. I mean, it's just like Kamala Harris. Like, she wasn't the best candidate. She was just they had the least dirt on her, and she's black and she was female. So she checked the boxes. That's why. I mean, it's not based on qualifications, but whatever. Whatever. You voted for it, so this is all on you. Oh, God. So this week was kind of rough for me. I had just a bunch of shit come up. So I didn't have a lot of time. But so I went to my boy here, Branco. And he had some good ones. We're just going to go through some of those. Some other stuff pops up along the way. We'll just talk about it. But I love this one. Especially because this is like, it's the Democrat using a big old rifle. I kind of love that. But, there you go. Big tech, shooting down free speech. And they are. I mean, let's face it. They are, because that's the medium that kids are using, is Not necessarily the Facebook, not even really Twitter and Google, but it is there. But they use a lot of different stuff. TikTok, that's already that's an army of idiots, really, to be honest with you. That are, I mean, when it comes to spouting the political views and some of the stuff that they do, it's they're following a false prophet. That's what Democrats really are. I mean, they are a false prophet. Look at what they really do. Don't look at how cool it is to live in Southern California. All the beaches, the nightlife, all of that stuff. Don't look at that, because the government's not necessarily controlling that. Look at the obstacles that you face trying to live here or living here, or, I know lots of people who are retiring and they're leaving the state because you can't afford it. It's, we have a beautiful state. Lots of people have beautiful cities, beautiful states that get ruined from dumbass politics, from trying to appease the wrong people. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. They are killing off free speech, and it doesn't end well. That's one thing history will teach us. It doesn't end well. The government is trying to exercise control over the press and the media, which leads to propaganda, which leads to them covering things up. And as the shit starts to hit the fan, we're not going to have any idea, because the media is just going to play right along. That's just the way it's going to work, but enjoy. Another one I found great. You said time to heal. I said time to heal. And, that's what it's going to be about. It's just going to be a bunch of revenge. It's really going to... That's the worst part about what's going to go on, is they're just going to waste 4 years undoing stuff Trump did, trying to screw over Republicans. And at the end of the day, the party, these people, they have enough money so they can insulate themselves from the struggles that the rest of us face. But as they create these problems, you're going to wonder, what the hell did we vote for, But whatever. Hey, here you go. Time to heal. There you go. That sums it right up. The media did their job, man. And if you're not frightened by that, well, I really don't see how you can't be. You don't know much about history, because that's what you do. A good example of that is World War One. They went out and they cut all the transatlantic phone lines, and the phone lines connecting Germany out. They isolated them. You control the media, you control the flow of information, you control a whole hell of a lot. I survived leaving a Trump rally, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. I mean, I don't really understand how people aren't seeing what's going on. The people on the left are getting violent, they're getting pushy, really. They're the worst kind of lobbyists, because instead of bribing officials with money, they bully officials. But again, see, there they go. That's who they're kowtowing to. They're bowing down to the angry mobs that go in with planned, coordinated riots and steal a bunch of shit, which drives our costs up, which makes businesses go under, which destroys families. People lose their lives in these things. But the media, hey, they seem to love it. The politicians, they were all for it. Anything to make Trump look bad. We're all just pawns, man. They don't really care. You realize that, right? You realize that. I mean, there's a big difference. Look, one of the things that I started to look at when it came to my political views was, sure, I have a lot on one side and a lot on the other side. But one thing that really struck me was what I've been talking about tonight. Who are they trying to placate? One side is trying to placate a bunch, supposedly the rich. That's what they say about the Republicans, or the whites. That's what they say. That's the rhetoric. But the truth of the matter is they're protecting the average citizen. The average citizen who's trying to play by the rules, no matter how demanding and soul-crushing that can be. The Democrats, on the other hand, are trying to placate the people who are just like, whatever. I'm just going to get through life. However, I need handouts. Gimme, gimme, gimme. You know? The people who will take, the people who see the Democrats' kindness as a sign of weakness. You know, up in Oregon, they legalized drugs. Yay, bravo. They're going to try to fix the problem. Whatever. We'll get into that in a minute. But that's not what the drug dealer sees. The drug dealer sees a new market. Criminals see a place where if you have lax laws, you can go and just steal. Like here in California, just clean out a Rite Aid. Nobody does anything about it. So why stay where you are, where that's a crime, when you can come here and get a slap on the wrist? Right? I mean, that's the way it is. You know? So, this one popped up. Apparently, Cuomo is getting an international Emmy in recognition of his leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic and his masterful use of television to inform and calm people around the world. Around the world. This is a guy who sent COVID-19 infected seniors back to senior homes. Really? That deserves an award? He calmed people around the world. Really? Isn't he one of the guys who was in on the whole the subways are safe in the early days? Really? This is the guy who won't hand out a vaccine if it was developed under Trump. That's this petty little shit. Is going to get an international Emmy, whatever the hell that is. Whatever. But, yeah, so stupid. It really is, but whatever. You know, if you want to subscribe to that, subscribe to that. If you don't, subscribe to me. It'd be nice. I don't have very many subscribers. Here we go. Cortez, our favorite little loony bat. You know, to get the virus under control, we need to pay people to stay home. That's not working either. You idiots. We have to weather this storm. We have to mobilize to help people survive it, but we just have to move on. We have to hit the beach and run at the machine gun bullets. We have to. That's the only way it's going to be done. You know? Help, but I love the part is that so many people agree with it. Helplessness, victimhood, and a misplaced sense of entitlement to the service of others. You know what happens when a nation gets weak? That nation will cease to exist. People don't really realize this, that, you know, the enemies of freedom, the people who would attack the entire world, they basically don't, only because of us. We're the ones out there putting an end to it. Oh, yeah, you might hear some other countries pop in to help. But make no mistake about it. We go soft. We start talking about defunding police, defunding the military. You don't think it can happen? Ask France about that. You know, ask the lowland countries. Ask portions of Russia, Poland, the entire Jewish population. Ask the Ethiopians. Yeah, invasions happen. There are people who are still alive from the days of Hitler. So to think that our world is so safe that we could just grow weak, I don't, whatever. You know, Dan Crenshaw, again, great man right there. But this is just a reminder about what Pelosi said in 2017, that the election was hijacked. So before you talk any shit about Republicans who are upset about the way this hokey election went, and it was fucking hokey. Come on. You guys, if Biden wins it, it's only because they made it lazy. Just like the last clip said. Helplessness. So we'll just let you mail in your ballot. We'll extend all of these deadlines. You don't have to go. You don't have to do something as complex as filling out for an absentee ballot. No. Or getting in your car and driving to a polling place. No. Whatever. The plan seemingly worked. So, you know, bravo. But I don't think anybody's going to be celebrating it. I think a lot of people know what really went down. But whatever. So, earlier I mentioned Oregon, and, you know, they're the champion in the war against the war on drugs, you know. But what a lot of people didn't really know is that they're going to be taking their marijuana tax money, most of it, a lot of it, from the schools to put it into this crazy idea. You're not even going to choose $100 or rehab. You're going to choose $100 or an assessment center. So they're going to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to hire a bunch of people in these buildings, and they're going to have to renovate the buildings, build new buildings, whatever. They're going to spend a lot of money, which Oregon doesn't have. They're going to spend it to make these assessment centers to assess whether or not somebody's a drug addict, and then they're going to provide them services. And they even, my favorite one was 109, where they're going to allow psychedelic mushrooms to be prescribed for help with depression and anxieties. Oh my God. Like, wow. Yeah, that's going to kind of end poorly. I don't know how many prescriptions are going to get handed out, but ooh, when you start giving out hallucinogens, oh man, you know that can't end well. I mean, this is America. Well, you know, they like to compare, you know, what's going on in Portugal with their drug laws. And like, I don't know how the Portuguese are, but I know we are mad ass crazy here. And, yeah, I don't really see that as ending well. I mean, they'll spin it. Maybe less people will die, but the problem is that you got to keep people off of it. I know about that firsthand, you know. I didn't really clean up my act entirely. I quit drinking in 92. I think I cleaned up my act in 95, 96, something like that. I'm still a fucking mess, man. You don't want people starting stuff like crack and LSD and psychedelic mushrooms and all that. Yeah, no, you don't want them popping pills and doing all that crazy shit, man. And I just have a bad feeling that by making it actually avoidable, like if a kid gets caught, theoretically, like their parents won't even find out. Like that's kind of, I don't know, man. They say that they don't want to put people in jail and ruin their lives with a felony conviction. I think they might be ruining their lives with a drug addiction. You know, that's really my 2 cents on that. I mean, you got to make it scary for people to use those hardcore drugs, man. Because you know your boy smokes weed, but you know, I do my job. I don't, you know, I don't wake and bake. You know, I don't ever go to work stoned. No. You can keep it under control. You can keep a job. But you can't do that on heroin. You can't do that if you get strung out on stuff like meth, you know, or crack. Like when your teeth start falling out, man, people are going to notice, and it's going to make it hard to work. But that's why I said be careful what you're voting for, because now schools and law enforcement are going to get less money, and now they're putting money into letting drug offenders off the hook. And most of the time, these drug offenders are probably getting caught doing something else. You know, some sort of, either if it's not a traffic stop, they're involved in something else and they get searched and the drugs are found. Or they're on drugs and it's, you know, that's why they're searched. Or they're driving on drugs and it's obvious and they get searched. But again, they're applauding this victory for drug addicts. And they don't even have their shit together there. They have an opium problem there. They have a problem with getting their centers open and stuff. They spend, they're just like any other democratically run city or even state. They piss their money away trying to figure shit out. They don't just do it. They're wafflers. They waffle back and forth because they're going with all these lobbyists and all of these differing viewpoints and concerns. It's simple, man. Just build more prisons. If you want to figure out a way that people who get caught doing drugs, you know, so they don't get hurt for the rest of their lives, you know, have them complete a substance abuse program and remove it from the record. How about that? How about that? That makes perfect sense. You know, oh, we busted you with a bunch of tabs and some mushrooms and some weed. Well, weed's legal there, thank God. You know, we got you with some crystal, whatever. You know, but if you go through this program, it'll be removed from your record. There'll be no record of it. It'll just be removed. There you go. But see, you're forcing somebody to do something that's hard. I know. I know about all these things. I've been there, man. I still fight it today. You know how bad I want to put something up my nose? Oh, whatever, man. So anyhow, because I'm trying not to mention it, and I would kind of like to purge it, but Branco again hit a home run here. This is what we see in the media's propaganda. Mostly peaceful protests, mostly legal mail-in ballots. That's what it is. They're covering for something instead of investigating with no bias. Instead of giving us the truth, they're giving us their truth. And imagine when things could get worse and they're still doing that and we're not hearing about it and nobody's protecting us. Right now they're saying all the things you want to hear. But that can end. That can change. You can wake up one day and realize what the hell is going on here. What have I been supporting? Who have I been supporting and who are they supporting? That's what we need to look at. That's why we need to be in the middle, man. We need to look at the average citizen. We need to look at the people who are struggling, who are trying, who are working. Those are the people we need to help up. Not people who are taking shortcuts and taking a way out. Not people who aren't playing by the rules. That's the bottom line in all this. We need to support those people. We don't need to be supporting the people who are telling the rest of us to fuck off. Copious out. Have fun, guys.